pleased to hold this hearing to hear from the acquisition and technology leaders at the General Service Administration, also called GSA. And in June, GSA announced a realignment of the Technology Transformation Service within the Federal Acquisition Service that I'd like to really understand a little bit better. I'd also like to continue up on our conversation that we started in March of this year in the hearing on the Federal Acquisition System challenges and reforms. Annually, FAST is responsible for over $50 billion in goods and services bought by the federal government, while the TTS focuses primarily on the technology modernization. So in May of 2016, GSA established the TTS as a standalone service to consolidate technology-related functions and to assist other agencies with technology transformation. And just over a year later, GSA has realigned TTS so that it is no longer a standalone service, and the director of the TS now reports to the FAST commissioner. And so I'd like to hear more about that from GSA and about the thinking behind that realignment. Second, I'd like to continue the conversation we started in March about the federal acquisition challenges that make it difficult for the government to buy goods and services at the best price and in a timely manner. The ever-increasing complexity of system and associated compliance costs have a lot to do with these challenges. The Federal Acquisition Regulation, or FAR as it's sometimes referred to, has over 2,000 pages, and each agency has associated supplements to FAR. Like GSA, which has the General Service Acquisition Regulations, we understand that these complex compliance issues make it very problematic. And so I'm looking forward to hear how we overcome those compliance costs. But let me just highlight one area, because there's some indication that the compliance cost alone costs over $4 billion annually. Now, the cost of this complexity is actually passed through in terms of higher costs for the customer. In fact, GSA's own IG found that 75% of the top-selling products on the GSA IT schedule actually could be bought 13% lower on the open market than the lowest price on the schedule. Now, you would think if we're buying in bulk and buying in volume that we would get the best prices, and yet that's not what it shows. The big $473 billion FY 2016 contracting spending question is, what do we do about these challenges? How do we fix it? So in January, the administration issued an executive order on reducing regulation and controlling regulatory costs, which presents an opportunity to reduce some of this complexity in federal acquisitions. And in May, I dropped a bill that would actually codify this executive order, which I invite all of my colleagues to join. Clearly, this is an issue that both Congress and the administration is focused on. Since GSA is a member of the rulemaking body for the FAR Council, and as a leader of several large acquisition programs, they should seize the opportunity. Finally, a word about a specific acquisition reform proposal. Our committee has been working with Chairman Thornberry on the online marketplace proposal and the National Defense Authorization Act. And we heard from one of the witnesses in March hearing that suggested that we needed to go bold in acquisition reform. This proposal actually would meet that requirement. And under this proposal, GSA would be directed to establish a program to buy commercial products by contracting with several online marketplace providers. These marketplaces would provide a rapid point-and-click transaction, dynamic pricing, and delivery of goods under a standard commercial terms and condition. So in order to inform a continued consideration for this proposal, I'd be interested in hearing what the GSA thinks on this particular proposal, given their significant role in potentially implementing it. I'd like to thank each of you for being here today, for the witnesses, and I look forward to hearing your testimony. And with that, I'll recognize my good friend and the ranking member from the